Friday. She led the way, though, for the Tar Heels with 8 kills. As for SMU, Celia Cullen is the co-setter of the week in the Atlantic Coast Conference. She had 11 assists per set in the Mustangs sweep over Virginia Tech and Virginia. Jams Wheeler on Friday had 9 kills, no errors for the Mustangs, and hit .429. These teams tied for 4th in the ACC standings, both 10-3 on the season. Talked about it right off the top. Mirror images in so many ways, including in their conference records. Underway from the hilltop, and Nyesha May gets things started with a big attack.
One thing I love about Nyesha May's game is that she really is so efficient on both the outside and the right side. You can see her starting off strong, already first point out of the gate.
Maya Tabron with first service. North Carolina was able to begin things. Brooke Frazier there for the dig. Jams Wheeler finally goes to the floor for her first kill.
And can we talk about that one-hand dig from Brooke Frazier? My gosh, SMU is starting off and bringing the heat early on in this set.
I tell you, if we don't mention her name enough on the broadcast, it's just because we've become so accustomed to her flying all over the place. SMU with a service ace thanks to Tabron.
Tabron is someone that we're definitely going to need to look at tonight defensively, as she just needs 4 more digs to reach 1,000.
That's 27 aces for Tabron, second most on the team, trailing only Natalie Foster, who's the best in the conference. North Carolina gets its first point of the day, and that leads us to our keys to the match.
North Carolina is definitely going to have to serve SMU out of system because they're 4th in hitting percentage in the ACC. So they need to force a lot of out of system swings from the Mustangs. They also need to spread out that offense because the options, they don't need to be perfect, just good. And then they also need to shut down the outside hitters at UNC because they're very pin heavy. So if they can stop their outsides, they can force this North Carolina team to look at the other options.
Jams Wheeler on the attack, off hands of Chelsea Thorpe and Alexis Engelbrecht.
That's something that we can see early from both the Mustangs and this North Carolina team, is trying to find those hands. That's going to be key in tonight's game.
And early in the match on Friday, Jams Wheeler had maybe the biggest wow movement of the night. As quick as that ball got to the floor, I was flabbergasted.
I could hear it on the TV. I mean, she just made a dent.
I apologized to her afterwards, like, you know, I wish I would have had a better call of that one. I was just so overwhelmed, I couldn't find the right words.
Sometimes you're just in awe, and all you can do is be speechless.
Ellie Bolton continues her service. SMU up 5-1 early on North Carolina. Sam Erger mentioned it to us in pregame that the Mustangs needed an even stronger start than they got on Friday against Duke. So far, so good, getting out to a 4-point lead. North Carolina cuts it to 3.
You can see Hampton here, as well as some other of the North Carolina players, finding those hands nice and early. They know that they can't power through that SMU block, so they're going to have to find those tips and fingers.
Maddie May into the net. And Nyesha May will have service for SMU. Team leading 11 kills on Friday as the Mustangs swept the Duke Blue Devils. Tacked on 7 digs as well. Chelsea Thorpe.
I think we would be naive to say that they did not practice this all weekend. It seems like they are going for those hands. They aren't trying to find the seams. They're not trying to do too much. Definitely trying to hit off top of the block and get those deep kills.
And here's Taylor Eisert. Last year was the Conference USA Setter of the Year at Middle Tennessee State. Jams Wheeler off of Jackie Taylor for the kill.
SMU has done a great job responding early in this set with doing just the same thing that this North Carolina team is doing, finding those hands so the defenders can't run that ball down.
Now Casey Badenhorst had 2 aces on Friday against Duke. elevating her season total to 12. This is Imani Foster. Brooke Frazier is there. Now Tabron finding that far corner.
That was just a great wrist away by Maya Tabron. Finding that deep corner just behind the libero. Really going to be efficient tonight.
North Carolina needs a timeout. SMU leading 8-3 early. These teams tied for fourth in the ACC. The deadlock will end today. And on Friday here inside Moody Coliseum, a straight set win over Duke. On the other side, North Carolina had won 6 straight, but now have lost 2 in a row. Fell to Georgia Tech in 5 sets at home last Sunday, then swept at Pittsburgh on Friday. Cullen gets it to Tabron, able to put it in front of the blockers on the North Carolina side of the net.
Tabron saw that middle blocker was just a little late, and she saw that as an opportunity to kind of power through her. Celia Cullen did a great job there pulling the block. The middle blocker was expecting that dump.
Natalie Foster tied as SMU's all-time single season ace leader, and now has that record all to herself. The most in Mustang history in a single campaign.
I'm sure she can take a breath of fresh air after that one. This is a record that she has been trying to get for the last couple of games, and finally just edging that out.
Nearly had 2 in a row. The tape was her friend there. Tar Heels trying to keep Foster from going back to the line again. Dumped over by Taylor. Now another chance. Go to Okamore in the middle. Heart attack dug out by Nia Chamay. Schaffmaster now gets it down. And there is the leaderboard. Natalie Foster all alone, 52 aces in 2024. Not to think about individual honors, but considering how she tied it on Friday, it certainly had to be hovering for the last 48 hours.
That's one of those things where you have it in the back of your mind. When you go to sleep, you're thinking about it. You're waking up, you're thinking about it. So I'm sure she's glad to have that out the way. Also, just a super exciting accolade for her to have under her belt.
North Carolina now trailing by 6, fighting back. Schaffmaster becoming more and more efficient as she continues in her North Carolina career.
She's really come out hitting super hard, especially, I mean, this is just the first set. Usually you have to get comfortable, but you're not seeing any of that from her.
Tabron on the attack, her 3rd kill. Tabron and Wheeler both have 3 in the early going.
Another one, just a great deep corner shot from Tabron.
12-6 SMU. Zoe Barrett feeding her teammate, but the wall is there for SMU. Everybody giving Nadie Okamore some love.
Nadie Okamore really is just the queen of the net. She is the worst nightmare for any other hitter on another team. If she gets set up and her hands pressed at the right time, she's unstoppable.
Schaffmaster, no chance to get it past that wall from the back row. Here's Wheeler trying to place it on the line just wide. Point to the Tar Heels.
I think Wheeler knew that she was pretty tight on that set, so she just tried to tip it right over the block. Barely missed the court.
Here's Schaffmaster at the line. She's done well on this floor. She won the Doubletree Invitational MVP. Long on that serve. That's all the way back in 2021, the last time SMU played against North Carolina. It was part of that tournament. In the finale, Schaffmaster had 17 kills. North Carolina beat SMU, Pacific, and Stephen F. Austin that weekend here inside Moody Coliseum. Mustangs extend the lead.
And that was not a bad hit by Hampton. I think that the defenders on the North Carolina side just have to pull in under that block a little bit more. We're going to see this SMU team get a lot of positive touches and stuff blocks, and they need to be ready for that ball to come back so they can turn it back into another opportunity.
Here's Ellie Bolton. She had an ace on Friday, along with 4 digs and 2 assists. Tabron keeps it off the floor. Now James Wheeler. A little long. Going towards that North Carolina bench.
That ball was really far off the net and coming from cross court. That's something so hard for the visibility of an outside hitter. Really just rolling it and pushing it deep is the only thing that you can try to do.
Maddie May on the serve. And Natalie Foster makes quick work with that heavy right arm.
Head coach Sam Erger says that Natalie Foster has one of the best arms out of the middle that she has seen in her whole career, and you can see why there.
Here's Chimay on the National Player of the Year watch list, along with her teammate Celia Cullen. And Cullen will beat Foster again. North Carolina able to keep it alive. Quick work by Sophie Hampton. That's some firepower.
That thumb down attack by Sophie Hampton is going to be something that is so key in tonight, especially going away from those blockers on the SMU side. She can see a pair of kills doing that throughout the night.
Hampton's second on the team. Nearly 3 kills a set. That one's into the bleachers.
That's not something that is not regular here in Moody Coliseum, seeing Nia Chimay coming out of that back row. That's one of the reasons why they need her as a back row attacker, especially this year. You know, last year she didn't play 6 rows a lot, but she's really coming into her own this season.
Now Casey Batenhorst. Mustangs lead by 8. Short.
I have to give some respect to Casey Batenhorst. She is in one of what I think is the toughest positions to come in and be a serving sub. It is so mentally tough to come off the bench and provide for your team in that way.
She also played the role of host this week as NCAA volleyball social media came in, asking everybody their favorite secret song. Got some good singing and dancing out of that. Pulling to Tabron. Continuation. Now Shaftmaster. Wheeler able to keep that alive. Bolton can't place it.
Again, I think this North Carolina team is doing a great job of trying to get SMU out of system, so they only have one option to go to the outside. Those leaves can be super hard coming from a libero or a DS to give it to the outside in a great position to put them in a place to get a good swing.
Going to Foster again, going down the line. Back-to-back feeds to Foster. The second one results in a big kill.
Foster claims she is going to go back-to-back to libero Maddie May, who really defended the first one effortlessly, but just couldn't get under the second one in enough time.
18-11 SMU. Natalie Foster continues to rise in hitting percentage. Now number 2 in the ACC. Only Corey Lewis at Florida State has been better. Foster coming to SMU after winning all conference honors twice at Wichita State in the American. She was a thorn in the Mustang side in that league. Cullen feeding Tabron. Julie Bollinger couldn't dig it out.
That was just a great set by Celia Cullen. It was fast, it was on the net. She's gonna have to push that tempo a lot tonight to make sure that the blockers on North Carolina's side can't get set up in time.
Cullen already up to 10 assists. And now the service line. Big point of emphasis in the offseason, improving in that area. It's resulted in more opportunities for her to put up assists like that to Tabron, but this time the North Carolina wall is there. Amani Foster and Alexis Engelbrecht give the Tar Heels a point.
Alexis Engelbrecht is second on the team in blocks and, I mean, notably leads this North Carolina team in hitting percentage.
Zoe Barrett, sophomore from Whitefish Bay, Wisconsin. She was an ACC All-Academic choice last year, and the defense for North Carolina really shining.
I love this energy we see from this North Carolina team. They're acting like the chip is on their shoulder. That block is set up just so precisely, with Thorpe pressing her hands over the net and inside the court.
Sam Erger needs a timeout. Well, Natalie Foster, now SMU's single season ace leader at the top of the board. We knew it from the moment she walked on campus, the danger that she provided when she gets to that. In what Sam Erger is doing in finding transfers in the portal. Not only elite players, but people who maybe were undervalued. As good as Foster was, like you mentioned, there were some things she was not allowed to do, and Erger knew she could shine.
I think one thing that Sam Erger really hones in on is that every single player can grow no matter where they are in their career, whether it's a freshman or a senior. And you see here with Natalie Foster being a grad student, she's still growing. She's growing her game. Now, you know, she's leading in ASHID.
Shaw was a baller as an athlete, too, back in the day for Penn State. Won 3 conference championships. Long on the attack for SMU. Coming out of the timeout. North Carolina has trimmed the deficit to 4.
SMU definitely needs to settle in a little bit to get into this red zone to be the first one to make it to 20 points.
Making a late change. Coach Erger telling us North Carolina extremely good. Needed to start even better than they did on Friday. And that was a really strong start against Duke. Won that opening set by 9. Your Shaftmaster off hands. And this is a 4-0 run now for UNC.
Shaftmaster is doing a great job already tonight mixing up her shots. We've seen a lot off the top of the hands, but we've also seen a tool. We've also seen a throw down.
And finally, SMU able to get a point back thanks to a service error by Zoe Barrett.
Got a new player for SMU, and Natalia Newsome in the middle.
Checking in early, she had been a late game weapon in recent memory. Maya Tabron can't dig that one out.
And their Shaftmaster is, again, one thing so interesting about this North Carolina team is a lot of their pin hitters play both on the outside and on the right side and are efficient from both sides.
Shaftmaster up to 4 kills on 8 swings. Overpass from Tabron. Now a chance for North Carolina to cut it to 2. Wheeler and Newsome don't let it happen that time. Newsome and Chimay teaming up on the other side.
This SMU team on the sideline is cheering loud for the freshman in Newsome, who just really presses her hands over and is working with Nia Chimay to get that block.
That she has incredible. She's touching 10-11 now in her rookie year on the hilltop. Maya Tabron, the leader for SMU so far today with 4 kills on 8 swings, coming off a 7-kill performance on Friday.
She has 2 digs tonight, which means she is only 2 away from hitting that 1,000.
Career at Colorado, where she was a really good player, all Pac-12 honorable mention 2 times. I think it's fair to say she has gone from good to great since she arrived in Dallas.
I completely agree, and I can say that for a lot of these players on the Mustangs that have just transferred in either this year or within the last couple of years. It seems that they keep growing each year.
Sam Erger and her staff putting in the work to make sure that's the case. Erger last year leading the Mustangs into the NCAA tournament. Got an opening round win over Texas State, and then were swept by eventual national champion Texas down at Gregory Gym in Austin. Now the Mustangs on track to host in the first and second rounds of this year's NCAA tournament. And what a huge advantage that will be to play in front of a packed Moody Coliseum. Still plenty of work left to do to assure that happens. Ellie Bolton serving after the timeout. And Chelsea Thorpe can't do anything with it. Errant pass. And SMU is 3 points away from taking set one.
One thing head coach Mike Shaw said before the game is that they do not need to be perfect. They just need to give their setters a chance on the serve receive.
Here's Bolton, 22-17, the Mustang lead. Big kill going cross court from Hampton, the sophomore.
Another wrist away from Hampton. That is just so effective and so efficient. You've got a libero who's maybe on their heels waiting for that deep corner shot, and she just...
Maddie May puts it in play. Cullen to Wheeler, right at Maddie May. Hampton denied by Tabon. Natalie Foster continues to heat up. 3 kills.
Natalie Foster is already hitting over 500 tonight. She does not come to play, already having 3 kills and 1 ace.
Memorable leaderboard, most aces in the season. And also hitting like crazy at the net. North Carolina, though, still in this one. They only trail by 4. And a chance to go on a run with Taylor Eisert at the line. She has 12 aces on the year. Eisert at Wheeler. Coming from the back row, Chamay goes wide of the line.
And you can see it on her face that she's just trying to find that court. She doesn't want to go straight into the middle blocker on the other side. She's trying to find the deep corners and barely hitting outside of the court.
UNC to 20. Now trailing by only 3. Cullen to Foster. The UNC defense has been solid in this opening set. Now 3 blocks for the Tar Heels.
If I was Celia Cullen, I would keep feeding Foster also. She's been so efficient for the Mustangs in this first set.
Cullen. Wheeler able to keep that one alive as it sailed past Foster. Dug by Tabron. Wheeler into the hand of Foster and down. Tabron on that last point hit 1,000 digs on her career, but that does not matter to her right now as her team only leading by 1 in this first set. She'll worry about that milestone later to topple North Carolina. SMU is up big early on.
It seems that there's been a couple of miscommunication errors as well as just not being confident. I'm not seeing those confident swings from the hitters that we usually see from the Mustangs. So I'm hoping to see that within these next few points to close the set.
These teams have played only 2 times before, North Carolina winning both of them. The last time they faced each other here on the court at Moody Coliseum, August of 2021, part of the DoubleTree.
Typically already 4 kills tonight, hitting 375. Something about her in this Moody Coliseum is really electric.
Hannah Jacobs led the way that day for the Mustangs, 19 kills. Lily Heim had 37 assists. Some blast from the past there in this Mustang program. Mustangs get the point coming out of the timeout. Set point now for the Ponies.
Finding those hands tonight, I think, is going to be the name of the game to try to get away from the block on both of these very talented blocking teams.
2 of the best defenses in the Atlantic Coast Conference. Casey Batenhorst comes in to serve, trying to close out the Tar Heels in set one. And a free ball for the Mustangs. Cullen to Foster. Doesn't get it down. North Carolina countering and long. Set one goes to SMU. North Carolina fighting back, but on that final attack, Amani Foster can't put it inside the line. It's the 10th ranked team in the country, SMU, and number 25, North Carolina, battling on the hilltop. Postseason tournament in the ACC, so you're not thinking about seeding.
Right, when you have so many teams in that top 25, you know that you're going to be going to the tournament, so it's thinking about getting better and better each match to prepare yourself for whoever is going to be on that other side of the court during December.
As far as seeding in that NCAA tournament, our only update from the volleyball committee had SMU at number 7. Find out how much they can rise to the end of the year. It'll take a great close to this season. And SMU now tied with North Carolina in set 2, 1-1 after Nia Shimei comes through with her 3rd kill. Here's Ellie Bolton putting it in play in the libero jersey. Up to Hampton. Jams Wheeler. Gets it off hands. Point to the Ponies.
I think almost every kill tonight has been off of the block. That just is a test to how great the blockers are on both of these teams.
Saw it skim the fingers of Chelsea Thorpe's right hand as it went past. 2-1 SMU. Quick set to Alexis Engelbrecht, but you can't put it in play.
Sophie Hampton is doing a great job right now just handling that serve from Ellie Bolton and putting her team in a good position to have a lot of offensive options.
North Carolina scored the first point of the 2nd set. Mustangs have scored the next 3. Thorpe met by Wheeler and Foster. Now to the other side for Shimei.
Again, off the top of the hands, Nia Shimei is great at that because she's such a versatile and athletic hitter where she has great visibility and can just hit off of the blockers at UNC.
As loud as this Sunday afternoon crowd has gotten today in that first set when SMU was playing well, it gets whisper quiet before an SMU serve right now. Foster taking advantage of the overpass. Happy birthday.
I think at this level of, you know, players on each team, pretty much a happy birthday every time is a kill. It's something that you want as a hitter.
5 straight points for SMU. Big deep breath from Bolton. North Carolina trying to end the rally. That's who you feed when you need to stop a streak from the other side. It's Chelsea Thorpe.
Already 5 kills tonight for her. I love how UNC is spreading out their offense right now between both pin attackers and also trying to get their middles involved.
Thorpe, the transfer from Ohio State. Long from Carson Overbeck. Overbeck has had limited playing time of late. In fact, this was her first action since October 20th. Played in just 1 set against Virginia. Barents feeding Taylor. No joy. Point to the Mustangs.
Taylor, just being a freshman, you're going to see that a lot. Just small margins as a middle. She barely misses it.
One of the top recruits in the country coming out of Miami. Over to Hampton. That was a 6-1 SMU run. Very similar to what we saw in the first set, Alex. A really strong start for SMU, but North Carolina has a way of figuring things out and making in-set adjustments.
They're making quick adjustments depending on what the SMU team is doing really well. I think right now they know that they're attacking well, but that this North Carolina team can attack the blockers and try to find those fingers to tool it.
Natalie Foster with her 5th kill of the day. Foster and Wheeler leading the Mustangs, 5 kills apiece. Then Chimay and Tabron have 4 each. Here's Batenhorst. Shoved over by Taylor. Right at Chimay. Unable to keep it off the hardwood.
Taylor really is so impressive. She's leading this team in blocks just as a freshman, a skill that's not easy to transition into from the high school and club game.
Speaking of hardwood, a different look inside Moody Coliseum this weekend. No Terraflex. This is the only weekend of the season that will happen for SMU home games, as Natalie Foster produces her 6th kill. A very, very busy stretch here on the hilltop with basketball and volleyball back-to-back days over the course of 5 days. Mustang men will be here tomorrow to take on UNC Greensboro. So between game time and practice time inside the Coliseum, just no opportunity to make that switch. So the Mustangs back on the hardwood surface for these matches against Duke and North Carolina. Trying to push it down the line, wide. Mustangs thought they got it offhand. The challenge card may come out here. And it does.
You can see Maya Tabron just trying to find the edge of that arm there.
Did it?
Call was out. SMU is challenging. There was a touch on the block.
Jonathan Mullen, our down official today. Jose Juan Perez is up top. First official challenge. On that official replay monitor, they have additional angles to what we have here on the broadcast. Some permanent high-speed cams mounted throughout Moody Coliseum, giving more looks.
Definitely the thing that's going to be key here is to see if that ball had any change of direction.
Look from the opposite side.
Foster.
Initial ruling out. SMU looking for its 4th consecutive sweep. Did it against Virginia Tech and Virginia on the road. Then beat Duke here in Dallas on Friday. In the midst of a 4-game homestand, Miami will be here next weekend, as will Florida State. Point stays with the Tar Heels. Not seeing a change of direction.
You can see Maya Tabron on the Mustang side just giving a nice little giggle. Honestly, I would be scared if I saw that.
Motivation is not something you want to hand over to that student athlete. Remember, that first meeting with Pittsburgh in a back-to-back. We'll get to that point in a little bit. Now Chimay coming on. Cullen beating Okamore. Now back to Tabron. Sent over. Second chance. Cullen nearly had it, and North Carolina can't finish off that point. Mustangs get it.
During that whole play, the UNC team was extremely scrappy, doing really anything they could to keep that ball off of the floor, and just ended in a miscommunication error.
Here's Celia Cullen. Saw her intensity on full display on Friday, late in that match against Duke. Tabron all alone on the block.
And now possibly we know what that giggle was about. She knew she was going to bring the fire right back to this UNC team with a solo block. That inside hand just pressing over at the right time.
We've seen plenty of big smiles on her faces throughout the course of this season. That may have been the biggest, following up what happened on the previous replay with that huge solo effort. And North Carolina immediately gets a point back.
Extremely smart attack by Schaffmaster, just going deep. She saw that Celia Cullen was pulled up. It was really hard for James Wheeler to get behind that ball in time. That was a really, really deep.
Chimay goes to the back row, dug out. Now Schaffmaster. Wheeler couldn't keep it off the floor, and Schaffmaster's up to 6 kills on 11 swings.
As a volleyball player, I can think about what Schaffmaster is probably saying in her head right now, and it is repeat what works. She should continue to go to that deep corner until SMU Mustangs can defend it.
Cullen. Tabron able to tool the block.
Just like the UNC pin hitters, these SMU pins can also really attack from the outside and both the right side. Something that can come in handy if you need a different look.
Tabron to the service line. Tabron and Foster both have an ace today. Cullen to Wheeler. Jams made a comment in postgame on Friday talking about her surge lately. Credited it all to Cullen. Says the balls basically kill themselves with those perfect sets. The latest kill gives SMU a 13-7 lead over North Carolina in the second set.
Ugh, a rash? Maybe it'll go away. Oh, how am I gonna find a doctor I'll feel comfortable showing this to? A QR code? Okay.
And Sunday now afternoon in Dallas, whenever the Mustangs are playing, it's the 10th ranked team in the country that calls this place home. Especially on a day when they welcome in another nationally ranked team. Here's Maya Tabron. Mustangs leading 14-7. Schaffmaster, whistle comes before she flies through the air.
That was really a lethal kill by Schaffmaster. Unfortunately, the setter did just clip the net because the pass was a tad too tight.
Mustangs have scored 4 straight. Tabron mishits and into the net.
One considerable difference that we can see after the first set, we saw that the hitting percentage of both teams was neck and neck. Now SMU is blowing past UNC with a .231 hitting percentage.
Schaffmaster with some heat on that serve. On the other end, Wheeler thought Barrett had pancaked it, but the whistle comes, it's down.
Head coach Mike Shaw said that having Schaffmaster behind that service line is something that's so key for UNC, as their side out rate is above almost 50%.
Mustangs have doubled up the Tar Heels to this point in set 2. Thorpe denied. Bolton keeping it up off the scorer's table. On the other side, Hampton. James Wheeler. SMU defense is the star of that point.
That was just a great dig and a run down by Ellie Bolton to keep the play going. James Wheeler finding the kill.
opponents to a 171 hitting percentage this year. That's third best in the ACC. And they keep it up. Timeout, Tar Heels. UNC hitting 125 now. As part of that effort, Bolton staff for SMU.
I think SMU is playing super smart volleyball right now. The last serve by Ellie Bolton going short to the outside. Natalie Foster was able to cheat to the right side to be able to commit to that block.
SMU reaching another program milestone this week. First time in school history, the Mustangs are a top 10 team. Those rankings coming out on all the people who have poured so much in to SMU volleyball. It's these student athletes, it's athletic director Rick Hart, so many others who have worked so hard and have given so much to put the Mustangs in this position.
I think that's one thing that makes this SMU team so special is they really are so humble from top to bottom, the players, the coaches, staff, support staff.
It is hard not to love this team. None of them were #1 recruits out of high school. They have worked hard to get to this place. North Carolina very much made in that same way. A gritty group of student athletes. There is a reason that they have put together a 10-3 record this season and themselves are nationally ranked. Here's Nia Chimay. Now North Carolina, that's a tattoo delivered by Hampton.
Hampton is on fire right now. I would keep feeding her. That was a great out-of-system set from Shaftmaster, and I mean, just, I think got Celia Cullen in the noggin.
Cullen gets it to Chimay that time. Now to the other side for North Carolina, and Thorpe. Quick set to Foster. Can't put it down in bounds.
You can see Celia Cullen right now really trying to spread out that offense. That was one key that head coach Sam Erger talked about with us earlier this week as they go into that postseason, is that they're going to have to be more balanced.
Long service. North Carolina had a 3-0 run going there, and they thought they had the ace there. In fact, Carson Overbeck was heading back to the service line. They had just celebrated as if they won the point, and finally realizing, nope, it went the Mustangs' way. Here's Chimay. Able to control that one and get it to Taylor. Really nice work by Barrett.
That was an insane hit by Taylor. She had a great distance away from the net, giving her enough distance to really hit that ball cut back right in front of the libero. Something so hard to defend.
The body control by Barrett. Chimay had some runway but couldn't get it down. Now to Wheeler, soft touch. Mustangs are the first team into the red zone.
You can see both teams getting later in this game. They're trying to utilize different shots. You see some sets over the net, some tips over the net, especially with James Wheeler here. We've seen her hit off the top of some hands, but really just being smart where she can.
Badenhorst returns. 8-point Mustang lead. Foster. First kill for Imani Foster on her 7th swing.
As I said, if you could really just tip that ball, if you see an opening, it is a fast and easy kill rather than trying to power through a block that's really formed great.
Julia Bollinger will serve. Freshman who was a 2-time first-team All-State selection at Windsor, Colorado. Playing in her 11th match of the season. Tabron. On the overpass, Tabron's there.
As a hitter, when you see that overpass coming over, your eyes get real wide. It's one of those easy, quick kills that you can get because it's almost impossible to defend from a lethal hitter.
Another race for the all-time best for the Mustangs.
Her serve is just so hard to replicate in a gym where maybe you don't have a server like her. Bring her length from just being tall to also the length of her arms. It's really hard to replicate the trajectory that this serve is coming from.
Foster may get that record in unbreakable territory by the end of this season. My Tabron. SMU leading by 9. Trimmed to 8. Amani Foster, her second kill of the set.
Foster is really coming in clutch late in this second set for UNC. She's mixed it up a couple of times. We've seen her on the outside as well as the right side. We can expect to see her get a couple more sets during this.
Marissa Meyer-Hafer with an ace for North Carolina. She's had limited action this season, only her 8th time to play this year.
I think the beauty of volleyball is really when you can see your team rally behind you, especially towards those players that may not have the experience and may not be getting that playing time consistently.
Hard angle there for Schaffmaster, but she's still able to get it done. Up to 7 kills.
Schaffmaster really just does have such a strong arm. That's something so impressive, especially for a ball that was off the net. You'd think she would try to roll it or tip it and just keep it in the court, but she really went for it.
Timeout called by SMU. Mustangs number 7 in the NCAA Volleyball Committee's in-season top 16 that was revealed a couple of weeks ago. Nebraska and Pitt won.
Especially in Moody Coliseum, where you can see the fans really pouring into this team.
Well, you can speak to it from firsthand experience, Alex. How much did it matter to the Texas Longhorns to be playing in Gregory Gym? How much did that make a difference when they were playing against the Mustangs, who obviously had a lot fewer supporters there?
For sure. I mean, I definitely still have nightmares about that game. Those Longhorn supporters definitely show out for their team, but just being in that gym and having that behind you as well as your family, you know, some people are from Austin, so they could have those family and friends show up, and it really does matter, especially in a team sport like volleyball.
Some of the best environments in the entire nation in college volleyball right here in the state of Texas. And it keeps getting better here on the hilltop. Sent over by Cullen. Now a chance for North Carolina to trim the deficit to 5. They don't do it.
You can see how much this UNC team is really trying to find Schaffmaster. Getting that free ball there, they had all 3 options, but still decided to go to their outside, who's gotten majority of the attempts this game.
UNC had scored 3 straight. And now SMU in position, just 2 points away from going up 2 sets to none. Schaffmaster blocked by Chimay. Okamore right alongside.
Just 1 point away from the win. I think SMU volleyball is working on playing their cleanest volleyball right now.
SMU has outblocked UNC 6-4. Set point. And SMU will have a free ball to close it out. Chimay can't do it. May was there. Wheeler with the dig. Cullen to Tabron. And another free ball opportunity for SMU. Frazier to Cullen and to Okamore.
May really is a rock for this UNC team defensively.
SMU feeds the queen to close out set 2. The Mustangs close on a 3-0 run. And now in position for another sweep. It would be their 4th straight.
Wheeler and her game over the years.
Just getting better every season and having the experience of a lifetime along the way. Here's Schaffmaster getting it off hands to begin set 3. North Carolina has only been swept 2 times this season. Second time was on Friday against top-ranked Pittsburgh. Cullen to Chimay. Somehow Carolina sends it back over. Not that time.
I know Chimay just got the kill, but gosh dang, May is back there really holding it down for this North Carolina team. We've seen her dig the tip. She's all over the court, especially with her hustle.
We talked about the prowess of these 2 defenses. 2 of the top 5 in the ACC. It has been on display today. Okemore and Wheeler going over for the block. Cannot accomplish it against Schaffmaster.
If there is any type of split or seam in front of Schaffmaster, she is going to find it. And that paired with just the lethal arm that she has, you cannot defend it.
Chimay again trying to put it down into the campfire. Unsuccessful. Cullen to Wheeler. Boom.
And Wheeler did not try to go through the block with that one. She saw the block was set up a little bit inside, so she's going to attack that line.
Wheeler will credit every single one of those themselves. It's hard not to kill them. 2-2. Sophie Hampton getting back in the action. She has 7 kills on 15 attacks.
Second tonight and the leader in kills. She's kind of a silent killer, but we've seen a lot of those wrist aways from her. I think she caught the top of the hands of Foster.
Cullen to Foster. Taylor can't put her to the floor. Now Bolton beating Chimay. Back to Chimay again. North Carolina erupts. Hampton, wow.
For both teams being so lethal and blocking, you would think that they get a lot of reps in practice for coverage.
North Carolina leads by 2. This time it's the SMU wall coming through. Chimay and Foster side by side.
It's the UNC wall and then the SMU wall and then the UNC wall again. They really are battling at the net tonight.
SMU 5 for North Carolina. Pushing it over the top of the blockers. Jams Wheeler to the back row. 11 kills for the senior.
James Wheeler was able to find that seam just in between the middle blocker and the right side.
And the Mustangs tied at 4. Quick set. Frazier couldn't quite keep it alive. It goes sailing wide of the line. Here's Taylor Izert. 4-year starter for Middle Tennessee. The only player in Blue Raider program history with 3,000 career assists. Nice Chimay with some runway.
That set from Celia Cullen was like butter to Nia Chimay. As a back row attacker, you want a ball that's right on that 10-foot line to give you a great runway, and she did just that.
5-5. Nearly overpassed Foster. Foster waiting on it again. Batenhorst digs it out. Cullen to Tabron. Right at Isert for the point.
Something that's going to be key for both of these teams tonight is really bettering that ball when you're getting touches off the block. A lot of weird things can happen, so you want to make sure that you put your setters in the best position to get a good setup.
Batenhorst to the left side of the line. Puts it in play. Off hands and down. A point for Foster.
We've seen a couple pair of tips from Foster within these last few plays. Super excited to see her come in her own and be super confident with her swing tonight.
Here's Sophie Hampton. Tabron dug out by Hampton. Now an opportunity for Schaffmaster, and she capitalizes.
That transition was extremely quick, not giving that SMU team enough time to get settled in their right defensive position.
Hampton score tied at 7 after the error.
And that will be 7 serving errors from UNC tonight.
Here's Natalie Foster. #1 in the ACC. 3 more aces than Olivia Babcock at Pittsburgh this season. Her service run ends quickly as Jackie Taylor gets the kill.
Just being a freshman, that is great visibility. You can see Nadie Ilglemore try to take away her power just there at the last second, but was a little too late.
Taylor, the daughter of a couple of superstar Miami student athletes. Dad Sean played football, went on to make the Pro Bowl a couple of times for Washington. Mom Jackie was a midfielder for the Hurricanes.
That was a great block by Foster. You can tell that these players are really thinking about where they're positioning their hands so they don't get used as the game goes on.
Tabron to the floor.
Chris, I think we've seen a lot of more shots in this third set than we've seen at the beginning of this game. I think both teams know that the hard-driven balls, there's great defenders, like you said earlier, some of the best defensive teams in the conference, so you've got to find different ways to score.
SMU trailing by 1. Able to get that down. It's Amani Foster.
I think Foster has such a strong swing. We need to see her use it more tonight. We saw tips earlier in the game, but even in this set has had a pair of swings and both have been kills.
Her hitting percentage was at straight zeros to begin this set. After a couple of kills, now into positive territory. Schaffmaster. Long. Initially, our officials signaling towards SMU. North Carolina, though, protesting. Challenge card has not come out yet. And it appears that it will not from Mike Shaw. Here's Tabron. Tabron had one of SMU's 3 aces earlier. Can't dig that one out as Schaffmaster continues her work today.
One thing I really respect about Schaffmaster, she continues to go for it. We saw the last play. She really blew that one out of the water. But here she's coming in with that same intensity on the swing, was able to get to the kill.
And now the service line. Tabron on the overpass. Happy birthday, Chelsea Thorpe.
Between Schaffmaster's serve and Thorpe's happy birthday right there, I don't know which one was harder.
North Carolina leading by 3 in set 3. This service right now from Schaffmaster is incredible. And SMU, for good reason, wants to talk things over, trying to find a way to neutralize the 2-time All-ACC first team selection that's currently at the line. North Carolina on a 3-0 run, looking to avoid a sweep on the hilltop.
Balls just not being as tight as they should be in serve receive.
North Carolina keeps it rolling. Chelsea Thorpe up to 7 kills.
Seems as if this North Carolina team right now is just really going for it. We're not seeing a whole bunch of tips and rolls from them, and they're really trying to power through that block.
North Carolina has only been swept 2 times this year, and they look like they're not going to allow a third as Lauren Shutter gets in on the action.
Spreading out their offense is going to be something that is so key tonight, seeing these different players step up in this third set.
Shutter playing in only her 4th match of Mustangs, and again, Shutter, the Michigan State transfer. Timeout, Sam Erger. Tar Heels have stretched the lead to 7.
Really seeing this SMU team just fall apart in serve receive.
Schaffmaster has become more efficient this season, better in her decision making, and just has elevated her game in countless different ways. And given what we saw from her the last 2 years, it almost seemed that a few weeks remaining in her senior season for the regular year, and then it's on to the NCAA tournament for the Tar Heels. You'd expect, as they are currently ranked number 25 in the country, tied for 4th with SMU in the nation's best volleyball conference, the ACC. Good alumni base for North Carolina in Dallas-Fort Worth. They've come out to support their squad. Also have one Texan on the roster for UNC this year. It's Sadie Swift, the junior from Stephen F. Austin High School in the state capital.
I remember as a player, that's something that was so exciting getting to go back to your, just home state.
Led those SFA Maroons to some championships back in the day in district. And UNC continues to pour it on. This is a 7-0 run. And SMU, right out of the timeout, gets aced again.
Schaffmaster's serve is really just so elite. SMU Mustangs are going to have to focus on just getting a good pass and not a great pass.
Bolton on the overpass, and North Carolina doesn't knock it to the floor. Wheeler trying to end the rally. Cullen to Chimay. Back to Hampton, net by Okamore and Chimay. And you see Naya lighting her teammates up. Let's get this back going in the right direction.
Right, that's so exciting. I'm sure she saw those serves coming from Schaffmaster and just excited to have anybody else behind the line.
Ellie Bolton will get a chance for SMU. North Carolina scored 6 straight. The lead is 7. Bolton there for the dig. Now Wheeler, low and into 4 hands.
Ellie Bolton, you can see her pulling up for that cross-court attack, making that great adjustment.
Chelsea Thorpe took full contact. The leaping ability of Newsom on display. There's Thorpe again, long.
SMU just putting in a couple of new players, trying to get any type of new looks. Maybe someone can come off the bench and bring that spark for them.
Brooke Frazier re-enters. And this time, Coach Shaw does pull out the challenge card.
The original call was out. North Carolina is challenging. There was a touch on the block.
Review coming. Called upon by Mike Shaw in his second year leading this Tar Heel program, 7th year on campus in Chapel Hill. Fantastic player back in the day for Penn State and part of that Nittany Lion women's volleyball coaching staff. Goes to UNC.
Seems like this UNC team has all the momentum right now. I mean, from the bench to the players on the court, they're all jumping down, smiles on their face.
Maddie May. Leads North Carolina with 310 digs. Chimay will not let her have one here.
Nia Chimay will be the answer, whether it's defensively, we saw on the block just a couple of plays ago, and now offensively, hitting off top of a very impressive Hampton block.
And Natalie Purdue enters for the first time for the Ponies. Limited PT in one set on Friday. Frazier can't dig it out. Kill for Carolina. Tar Heels into the red zone.
If I was the blocker on SMU's side, I definitely would take away her power, which seems to be towards the libero. We've seen her get a lot of looks that way tonight.
Here's Eisert. Conference USA Setter of the Year last season. Cohen to the back row for Chimay. 8 kills now for Nia.
Celia Cullen is doing a great job of feeding Chimay while she's hot right now. Whether it's in the front row or the back row, she's really doing a great job of being consistent for this SMU team.
Chimay 2 away from getting into double figures. She's had double-figure kills in 8 straight matches entering this afternoon. Chance for Foster, leaving a dent in the floor.
Again, I want to give Foster the confidence to just swing away, because every time she has in the last plays in this set, she's really gotten a kill.
21-12, North Carolina. Lamoran into the game, getting it to Newsom. She will get her time on the floor, providing a spark for SMU.
Natalia Newsom, as a freshman, not seeing much playing time this year, but when she does, she makes a difference. She's hitting 365 on the season as a freshman. She really knows how to find those seams and those splits.
Even in a regional final, they're going to call on Newsom. It's not just because the Mustangs are up 2-0, as was the case Friday against Duke when you saw Newsom come in, and again here today. But North Carolina on the verge of avoiding a sweep here in Dallas as Schaffmaster continues to show off her muscles.
Schaffmaster did a great job of getting her eyes on the setter in that last play. She knew that ball was coming tight and that Celia Cullen could dump it, and Celia Cullen is really efficient from the dump. Great job on her.
Cullen to Chimay, and again, coming from that back row with some runway, so dangerous.
Chimay is dangerous, especially while UNC has been in this red zone. She has been the answer for SMU to get a pair of kills.
Cullen at line with SMU needing to put together a run. Foster can't put it to the floor. Now Lamoran gets a chance. Gentry Lamoran with her first kill on her first swing of the day.
Lamoran really is a test to how great this SMU team is and how deep they go. She doesn't see much playing time, but when she does, every time she makes a difference, coming in and immediately getting a great line kill.
She had 1 kill on her lone swing on Friday against Duke. See if she gets more opportunities here. Cullen can't keep that one on the floor. North Carolina 2 points away.
Right now, we're seeing just a pair of unconventional errors on SMU side. That ball just hitting off the top of Okamore's head. That's not something we normally see. They definitely need to clean it up.
How about Lauren Shutter coming in? Hasn't received much playing time this year. She has been really good in this set for UNC. And the Heels are at set point. Zoe Barrett, chance to close out the Mustangs. Long.
That's 8 serving errors for UNC tonight.
Here's Tabron. She has one of SMU's 3 aces. North Carolina also has 3 today, but that's an error. And it gives the Tar Heels set 3. SMU unable to earn its 4th consecutive sweep. Instead, simply looking for another victory to break a tie for 4th place in the ACC. Time.
Especially after dominating in that second set. I know head coach Tim Erger is just biting her cheek after that 3rd set loss.
Chelsea Thorpe starts strong for UNC, going down the line with authority.
After that timeout between the 2nd and 3rd set, I think a totally different North Carolina team has come out. You can see them with that chip on their shoulder, really bringing the fire to the court.
Shaftmaster service, a big part of why North Carolina won that 3rd set. And she's at the line now, trying to continue that run. North Carolina, Hampton thought she had it off hands. Naked eye, first look, I thought the same.
Not a terrible swing by Hampton. She really had no runway. She couldn't transition. She just had to get a left, right, and up, and she tried to hit those fingertips and just barely missed it. It looks
challenge comes, Alex, for that very reason.
The original call was out. North Carolina's challenging. There was a touch on the block.
Our broadcast position just below where that attack came. And again, seeing it initially, thought that it went off of fingers. As it stands, 1-1. Challenge coming from Mike Shaw.
Even though we're early in the set, challenging a ball could be a great reset for a team and just a time to get a nice little timeout, powwow, and reset.
And the point stays with the Mustangs. Did not skim the fingers of Okamore. So North Carolina loses a challenge, just 2 points deep into this 4th set. Here's Ellie Bolden. The Creighton transfer with a service error. SMU still leading in that category. They've had 6. North Carolina has 8.
Both with 3 aces.
Maddie May puts it in play. Quick set to Foster. Love that angle. Change things up on the attack.
And you can see Celia Cullen there just shaking her head saying, I'm sorry, I think that ball was a little too low for Foster to get a clean attack on it, so she just had to tip it and was lucky enough that there was a hole on the UNC side.
See, in here I thought they were just going for a little change of pace, but it worked out one way or another. Purdue returns. Chelsea Thorpe continues to impress. the former Ohio State Buckeye. She was second best on that roster with 232 kills last year, already up to 222 for the Tar Heels with a few weeks remaining.
She approached that ball inside the corner and efficient.
Here's Wheeler. Continues her great work, giving all the love to her setter.
That was a great out-of-system ball by Celia Cullen. And James Wheeler just saw that split in between the block and really attacked it. She knew the defender wouldn't be there.
3-3. Here's Batenhorst. Off the tape and over. Cullen on the block. It's wide of the line. Point to the Tar Heels.
At the beginning of the game, we saw Foster with a lot of tips. Now we've seen her kind of come in her own with these swings and definitely getting a lot of kills for this UNC team, whether it's through the block or off the top of the hands.
Cullen feeding Tabron. Nothing May could do about it.
Tabron's arm swing for that specific hit was really, really fast. A little bit of a higher ball from Celia Cullen, but still was able to draw a split from the middle blocker on UNC's side.
4-4. SMU's top ace leader at the line, but her run ends in a hurry. That's a tough deal for SMU to only have Foster with one serve in this rotation.
I just talked about how Foster has been able to be so efficient with her swing. She definitely had to tip that ball because the SMU block was just sitting there waiting on her. Very smart play by Foster.
Meyer-Hafer. Cullen beating Chimay off the scoreboard, which should result in the point to the Mustangs, and it does. It can go off the scoreboard and stay on the defense's side, but when it travels over, that's a point for the opposition. Haven't seen that come into play much this season.
Definitely see it more with those hard-driven balls, just trying to get your platform beneath it. It can go pretty high and soar.
Celia Cullen registers the ace. 20th on the season.
SMU is able to just notch this UNC team by one with 4 serving aces on the game.
Cullen poured so much into improving her game at the service line in the offseason. She had been taken out when she got to that point in the rotation in favor of Casey Batenhorst almost all of last year, which robbed her of some opportunities to earn assists. Now, with those extra chances, she is the ACC leader. 842 of them entering today. That's 50 better than the second best in this conference.
Not only has she gotten significantly better in her serving, she's also second on the team in digs, which is something that we don't normally see from a setter. I think that's a test to the other teams also trying to get this SMU team, who's so strong offensively, out of system.
Entering the season, Coach Erger told us Cullen could be, should be an All-American this season. On her way, she's on the National Player of the Year watch list. Schaffmaster, and a light touch there. So Frazier to Tabron. North Carolina keeps it alive, and Shutter. Instant firepower for North Carolina. Again, this is only her 4th match to play this season. Has not received playing time since mid-September.
Shutter's hitting perfect on the match. She has 3 kills on 3 attempts. I think that ball was a little low, but her arm swing was so fast that she was able to do something with it.
That one nearly took out our cameraman on the sideline. Shutter again. Shutter the thoughts. It's a North Carolina lead.
still hitting perfect.
Nice Shimei. Okamore alongside Shimei for the big SMU block to tie this one at 7.
Okamore has done a great job, specifically in this set. She set up some really great blocks, being able to close it at just the right time and press over with her pin blocker.
Back and forth these teams go. Ponies 7, heels 7. Again, the SMU wall, but this time it sails wide. Point to UNC.
Shaftmaster saw that there was maybe a little hesitation from James Wheeler and was able to use her outside hand.
Eventually getting it to Wheeler, but May on the other side keeps it alive for North Carolina. Now Shimei, Shutter, and Hampton teaming up. Now these teams are tied, 9 blocks apiece.
That hit the ground before Nia Shimei even did. That's a picture-perfect block.
2-point Tar Heel lead. Cullen to Okamore. May with the dig. Wheeler and Okamore get it done that time. Point Ponies within 1.
Seems like both teams are taking this blocking game personal. You see the UNC team get a block, then you see the Mustangs get a block. Back and forth, specifically in this set.
The development of that skill on both sides, such a huge point of emphasis from these coaching staffs. And we are seeing it in action. Thorpe with her 11th kill on the day. One of 2 heels with double digits in that category. Shaftmaster has 13, Thorpe up to 11.
Again, Thorpe is just trying to find those corners. She knows that the middles are the strongest blockers on this SMU team, so she can't power through them.
Newsome enters to provide a spark for SMU. 3 kills on 4 swings for her on Friday. Now 2 kills on 4 attempts today.
Newsome is definitely someone that head coach Sam Erger said that she looks forward to give this SMU team a spark.
The freshman from nearby Arlington, Texas. Right back to Taylor. Her 6th kill on the day. Neither team able to establish any kind of a run here in set 4. Shimei can't get it over. Wheeler can. Shimei was lucky to keep that point alive. That one barely above the net and tipped.
Right. James Wheeler is definitely playing exceptional tonight. She already has 13 kills, hitting .391. She's been able to find just a multitude of different shots to try to get those kills.
Badenhorst with her team trailing by 1. Foster gets it in front of the SMU wall on the Mustang side.
Foster has really come alive. That is her 8th kill. Just being able to power through Celia Cullen, who wasn't pressed over the net at the time of the attack.
Left a slight gap and able to take advantage. Newsome again.
We see the same thing from Natalia Newsome, right back, being able to power through that block. One thing that's so impressive about her is not only does she jump high, she has a extremely quick arm swing, being able to beat the block in a lot of those instances.
Checks out momentarily. On Friday, She was jumping out of the building. And as SMU looks to alter things slightly over these next few weeks, playing with looks ahead of the tournament, Newsome could become more and more of a factor, but you know going forward, next season and beyond, she is going to be a major contributor. Here's Tabron, able to tool the block for the Mustang points.
At this point, I think we know both the SMU Mustangs and this talented UNC team are trying to find those edges, so the block needs to make sure that they're super disciplined to try to win the set.
13-12, North Carolina. Here's Cullen. Continuation, another chance, this time for Schaffmaster. Okamore and Chimay were there. Schaffmaster this time. Chimay again denying her. A third time, Chimay and Okamore.
And that was 4 blocks for this SMU team in a row. Definitely this UNC team is doing a great job of covering the ball, but I mean, at a certain point, Nadie Okamore, and just the way she's so disciplined on the block, she has.
Off balance, Foster. Bolton sends it over, but North Carolina knocks it down. That's Lauren Shutter.
Shutter is just so smart. She knew that the SMU team was on their heels. They were running down that deep ball. There was no one defensively tight to the net. So no, she didn't have to kill that happy birthday. She could just swipe it down.
Tar Heels regain the lead, 14-13. North Carolina's hitting percentage up to .270 now, 11 points better than SMU as that serve travels out of bounds. Both teams hitting in the 100s through one set and have raised their play since then. Schaffmaster somehow unable to get that to the hardwood. This will lead to a discussion. Initially, the signal was point ponies. And they'll replay the point. A rarity, but an errant whistle comes in. Remains 14-14. Still some confusion on the Mustang side as Celia Cullen looks up to Jose Juan Perez. Schaffmaster leads no doubt about that point. And UNC is the first to 15 in set 4, looking to send us to a 5th on the hilltop. North Carolina and SMU in an ACC showdown.
Any questions?
How did you become the Capital One Bank guy?
I've always been passionate about no fees or minimums on checking accounts.
Aren't you in the Hall of Fame?
And didn't you live in space?
To a 5th and decisive set. James Wheeler hoping to avoid that situation.
Last set, we saw Schaffmaster really go on a run behind that service line. So James Wheeler knew she had to end this one so that they could have a chance themselves.
And Bolton tied at 15 in the 4th set. Meeting Hampton wide, going towards the SMU bench. SMU has a 16-15 lead.
Because UNC is so pin heavy, I bet the thought process behind Ellie Bolton having those short serves is to get Hampton not able to make a kill or a good attack and get that runway that she really needs.
A chance for Thorpe. The heat that she has put on some balls today.
Last time we saw Hampton maybe get that opportunity. So I'm sure that Natalie Foster was waiting in the middle. She didn't know which way it was going to go. And Thorpe was really able to attack that seam.
Overbeck wide of the line. Getting her first playing time since October 20th against Virginia. One of several Tar Heels who hadn't been in the lineup for a while. Shutter making the biggest impact among those who had not been on the floor for a good amount of matches. 17-17.
Head coach Mike Shaw said before the game that Hampton was one of those players who has grown tremendously over this season, just getting so many reps.
Thorpe puts it in play. Jams Wheeler. Denied. She'll get another chance. This time it's down. Wheeler leads SMU with 15 kills.
Hitting over 400. Jams Wheeler knows that she has to mix up her shots, especially late in the second set, where she's got a pair of kills in different ways.
And that 15th gives SMU an 18-17 lead. And Jams now with service. On the overpass, the joust goes to Barrett.
As a middle, that joust against a setter is something that those setters take really so personally. So personally, I would just want to joust against anyone but the opposite team setter.
Hampton. Tabron gets a chance. Hampton has to dig it out behind the back line. Hampton long.
You've got to respect Hampton for that play. She knew that the ball was going high off of the hands, and she started to immediately run that ball down to give their setter a chance to get her hands on it.
Now here's Foster. Two of the top servers in the ACC on display today, and Foster and Schaffmaster. But Foster with an error here. That's 8 of them for the Mustangs today. North Carolina has 10. Tied at 19. Bolton keeps it off. Cullen trying to dump it over. Cullen against Shutter on the joust. Point continues. Schaffmaster back at Wheeler. Cullen to Tabron. Met at the wall by Shutter and Barrett.
Shutter really has been able to bring the energy for this UNC team, whether it's defensively from the block or just getting a pair of kills, especially in the last set.
North Carolina back in front, 20-19. Lamarand gets a big kill. Welcome back into the lineup. We saw her earlier in this one, now reinserted, providing a spark.
Lamarand's hitting 2 for 2. She's a little undersized as an outside hitter, but definitely knows how to hit those corners and make her shots to make sure that her presence is known on the court.
Wheeler and Bolton making up that leadership group, and Shutter continues to impress, the former Michigan State Spartan.
Shutter has 6 kills on 7 attempts. She's playing super clean volleyball right now, and definitely, again, just bringing the energy for this North Carolina team.
Long, tied again, this time at 21. Lamarand will check out in favor of Tabron as her point at the service line comes up in the rotation. Tabron, second most aces on this SMU team. $28 of them on the year. Now here's Wheeler, jams. 22-21 Mustangs on Wheeler's 16th kill. Timeout, Tar Heels. Talked to us on Friday about setting the standard. That's what she's done for SMU over the course of her time on the hilltop. In addition to what she's done on the attack today, on defense, she has 8 kills, now over the 1,000 career mark.
Does really every skill so effortlessly. Tonight already having 16 kills, hitting 444 and 8 digs. She's on her way to have a double-double.
16 kills on 27 swings, hitting 444, 8 digs, 3 blocks. Have a day, Miss Wheeler. Lifting her ponies to 3 points from a victory over 25th ranked North Carolina.
Both teams being in the red zone, you can expect them to play extremely clean volleyball, but also at the same time, they need to make sure that they stay dominant in each of their respective skills.
SMU on the verge of knocking off their 5th ranked opponent this year as Maya Tabron earns an ace.
That was such a clean serve. You can see it floating deep. Really hard to receive.
Most recent win over a nationally ranked team came against #1 Pittsburgh. UNC number 25 in the country. And the Mustangs 1 point away of sending the Tar Heels back to Chapel Hill with a loss. On a 4-0 run to get to match point.
You can see this SMU team saying just 1 more point. Just push through it for 1 more point. Play clean volleyball. Dominate.
SMU will continue a 4-game homestand on Friday as the Miami Hurricanes come to Moody Coliseum. And a week from now, it'll be the Florida State Seminoles. After that, the
prepared for that game and got that win against Florida State.
Former SMU middle blocker Alex Glover alongside as the Mustangs look to close out the Tar Heels. Tabron keeps it off the floor. Now jams Wheeler. Can't finish it. The block for SMU closes out the win over Carolina. Mustangs end on a 5-0 run to beat the Tar Heels in 4 sets.
That was an elite play on both sides. You can really see the determination from both Naya Shimei and Nady Okamore. There was no room in between that block for error.
It got intense